Alright, check it out. We're going to do a deep dive here into the Montana 94 spray paint. I caught the mural I painted a few weeks back. I exclusively was using this 94. Super excited to share with you all my opinions about it. Some crazy heavy paint. That was my first time using it and I've got only great things to say. So we've got a ton of different colors. If you're interested in the exact colors that I used in that, I had an unboxing video that detailed it, so you can go check that out. If you're unfamiliar with 94, it clearly comes in a huge array of colors. They've obviously got a breadth of your traditional colors as well as the specialties. I picked up some translucent white and black, but there's a ton more specialties to try out. Not sure exactly how many colors are in the line. Looks like it's commenting on 216, so plenty to go around. I'm sure you'll find all the shades you need. It's definitely more of a matte finish to the paint. It doesn't have that super glossiness to it. You can get that feel from the donut as well as the can itself. There's kind of a matte finish to this, which somebody in the mural video commented that they find it a little bit hard to hold on to the can because of that. I generally wear latex gloves when I paint, so that has enough of the rubber on there to actually get a nice hold onto it. Even today while I was doing the spray out, I was able to get a nice hold onto it, so maybe if you're kind of got sweaty hands it might slip out a little. Definitely not as kind of a glossy finish on the can body itself, but that doesn't have much to do with the great paint that's inside of it. Crazy vibrant colors from the few colors I got, mostly grayscale on the other stuff. We got a yellow there, but a bunch of shades of grays and browns, so not the greatest demonstration of the color palette they have to offer. Altogether, everything was great, and I picked out all these colors online before having the swatch book, so this is an essential tool. I definitely recommend keeping one of these around, as one of my grays was a little bit off compared to what I desired, but when I went back and checked online, it was more close to what I ended up getting than what I had kind of guessed its shade to be, so keep that in mind when you're always doing that. Try to get a hold of one of these booklets just to make sure your color selection is as close to the final product as possible. So I'm going to start this review off with a cap test. I've got a few different caps on hand, probably about 10 or 12 to give a little range of some high pressure, some high volume stuff, as well as a couple little skinny caps in there, and then some random specialty caps as well. We've got the JIFFY cap that's always unique to cans, so we'll be sure to try all those out, give a little demo of them. Let's jump into that. So something surprising about these cans was the diversity in how fast some of these fat caps really wanted to come out. You could see with that super yellow fat that the thing just literally unloaded in the respect of it's really spreading that paint out. Huge 5 or 6 inch diameter spray could totally fill an area really quickly with that, as well as you can see some nice flares are capable with that, but it comes out pretty fast. On some of the other fat caps like the Montana Super Fat, you saw it literally just exhaust paint. It was just spraying it out super fast. You could see it get super wet on the backdrop. So you're gonna have some diversity on those fat caps there. It's pretty interesting to see that this lower pressure can is able to exhaust like that with its propellant. Now I don't think I could tag very accurately with something like the Montana Super Fat. I think that I would just put too much paint out too quickly to get a nice line down. So when first using these cans during the mural, I was a little startled to see that all of my small caps were coming out super soft. I wasn't finding a line that was, really defined and really like perfect for an outline. Everybody tries to find the perfect can and cap combo to get a single pass outline that's going to give you a really nice hard edge. That lets you do a ton of cutbacks and whatnot. So it was mostly startling because I had that MTN Skinny Pro and I was hoping that I was going to be able to use that for some super detailed cuts. So the wall I was painting for that big mural is crazy uneven. There are huge divots where tens of layers of paint have pulled off, and there's huge mounds where it seems like tons of paint is built up. So there's really no easy way to get the can close to the wall and have these kind of long sweeping strokes, as well as keep it within an inch of the wall while you're starting your stroke and have that same distance be maintained without having to run into a big bubble or a big divot in the wall itself. So working on this paper, I was able to totally avoid that and use the perfectly flat surface to actually get that can super close, really take a light touch to the valve and get some nice consistent lines. So keep that in mind. The lower pressure works great, but keep in mind if you can't get very close to the wall, the paint's going to have more time to spread out and it's going to give you these really soft edges. So this is a great testament to the valve. It's super easy to control, and honestly this is the least fatiguing valve I've used I think ever. I was able to paint that mural for literally 6 hours straight and didn't have any strain in my hand come the next day. Prior to that I had used some rusto for a little practice session, and I painted maybe for 2 hours and my hand was by far way sore than the 6-hour session. So by all means, this is a crazy nice feature to have if you're going to do a long duration painting. Now that was definitely the longest painting session I've had to date, but I literally came away with zero soreness in my wrist, which is totally not typical of even a couple hours out on the wall. So I mean, altogether the quality of this paint is super top notch. I was really happy with all the colors I selected. They all covered on top of each other great. The whites were super white, the black were super black. All these middle tones were nice shading with one another. I was really able to leverage that soft edge to get some nice vibrant kind of gradient in between shades. And even though the kind of portrait mural wasn't perfect and I could have used some different shades of gray in there, the ones I had worked great together. And it's a great testament that the paint looks great online and all the way to the wall for the mural. So I really have zero complaints about this paint. I could definitely justify the $6.50 price point for these cans. It's on the middle to high side for price per can, but altogether the quality was perfect. No complaints on the actual paint and the actual application. So it's really justifiable that if you're looking for that middle to high tier spray paint, this is going to be a no-brainer. I definitely recommend trying them out. Something I've definitely haven't highlighted in previous reviews is how the pressure kind of holds up to how long the cans last. And honestly, through that entire review, I didn't use or empty out any single can except for the one white that I used to fill like a ton of the background. It seems like the low pressure of this makes sure that you're not wasting paint on, obsolete areas or doubling up on sections when you don't need it. Literally, you got one pass of the color and it's exactly as you need it. And then even the fact that I was dusting and shading a ton, I didn't feel like I was wasting a ton of paint. Granted, the overall area of some of those like yellow sections and brown sections was pretty small comparatively to how much of the can I was using, but even throughout that portrait, my grays and light tones held up great. I wasn't worried about running out of the 2 cans I had allotted to the whole thing. It was awesome to see how far the paint went on the wall. If you like what you saw in the review, be sure to head over to sprayplanet.com where you can check these out. They were kind enough in hooking it up for that mural video, and I definitely had to go the extra mile and get these formally reviewed for everybody, as it was a new tool for myself, so I'm sure plenty of you guys are curious about them as I was, and this hopefully detailed some of the performance areas for the 94 cans. I'll link the caps that also came from Spray Planet down in the description of the video so you can check those out if you like the performance. Really interesting stuff with how the soft touch to a lot of these caps really was a change of pace from what I was used to, and really forced me to focus in on how I was using the cans, and ultimately I was really happy with kind of the stress test that it put me through. If you got any questions or comments about the paint, be sure to hit the comment section down below. I'm sure plenty of you guys have used this before, so if you have any extra add-ons that I might have missed, be sure to hit the comment section, maybe give some suggestions to some other artists down there. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to spray that like button. It always helps to support the channel, as well as go check out some of the other reviews I've been putting together. I put together a hand mix streaker review just a couple weeks back, and that was a crazy fun demo, so be sure to check that out if you're interested in the same vein, or maybe another video YouTube thinks you might like. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Peace.